Hi Bobcats. In this segment, we're going to go over how you're graded for the course. I really wish that our syllabus for the course was only a couple of pages and then the grading component would really stand out so you'd really know what the expectations are for the course. But unfortunately, we're required to put so much stuff on university policies and course policies and such into the syllabus that this piece is kind of hard to pull out of there. So we'll spend the next few minutes talking about how you'll be graded. The objective of this video is to describe how you'll be graded for the course. This table that I pulled directly from the syllabus shows you how each class of assignments or each category of assignments is weighted for your overall course grade. Each individual exam, whether it is a midterm exam or the final exam, contributes 17.5% of your course grade. Your quizzes altogether, the average of your quizzes will contribute 10%. The average of your homework assignments will contribute 10%. The participation problem sets will contribute 5%, and supplemental instruction will be 5%. And then there's the possibility of up to 3 additional points based on the learning curve assignments, which are part of the Sapling Learning Homework platform. The way that will go is, well, I'll get to that in a minute. You can get up to a half point for each of the learning curve assignments, up to a maximum of 3 points. Each exam is 17.5% of your course grade. They will be given on the blue days on our course calendar, which you can find under the resources module. We will be using Examity as the proctoring service. And then if disaster strikes while you're using Examity, then there will be an emergency Zoom session at the end of the Examity window. The final exam can replace one midterm exam if the final exam score is higher. That's the only mechanism for replacing a test or an exam. So if you get really sick the day of the exam, I don't do makeups. I don't let you take it at some later time, but the final exam can stand in place of that exam that you missed. Keep in mind that the final exam still is required. So if the final exam is lower than any of your midterms, it'll only count as 17.5% of your course grade. But if the final exam is higher, it will count for itself plus another 17.5% if it replaces a midterm exam. And so if that happens, the final exam is weighted 35%, 17.5 plus 17.5. So it'll either be weighted 17.5% by itself if it's lower than all the others, or it'll be weighted 35% if it's counting for itself and replacing another one. And another piece of this presentation, I'll be talking about summative assessment versus formative assessment. So I just wanted to note that exams are an example of summative assessment. Quizzes will count for 10% of your course grade. The lowest quiz score will be dropped at the end of the semester. The quizzes appear at the end of each chapter module, and it is possible with some of the longer chapters that we'll do more than one quiz. I'm just going to wait and see how things go before I promise that we'll have more than one quiz on a particular chapter. Assuming there's only one chapter quiz or one quiz per chapter, it will cover the entire chapter. You'll take the quiz through Canvas where it will be unproctored. So you'll do this on your own through Canvas, no proctor. And you will get 2 attempts at the quiz. When you complete the quiz, it'll show you which questions you got right and which questions you got wrong. The higher of your 2 scores will be taken. A lot of the questions that I use in 1342 will be calculation-based questions that Canvas classifies as formula questions. For the formula questions, the numbers for the question change every time for every student. So if you retake it, you'll get different numbers. So don't automatically assume that because the answer was 42 the first time through, it'll be 42 the second time through. It may be something different. Also, the questions get scrambled, so don't just indicate like on notes like I saw my daughter doing when she was recently taking a Canvas quiz for one of her classes. Don't just mark that, oh, it was the first answer, because the answers get scrambled, so next time around it may not be the first answer. I strongly recommend that after you take it the first time, you spend a little bit of time reviewing any material that you missed before you take it again. The quizzes get counted as are classified as formative assessments. Homework assignments account for another 10% of your course grade, and again, the lowest score will be dropped. Sapling Learning is our homework platform, and for the first time ever this semester, you will be able to access it through Canvas. You will not have to log into Sapling Learning separately. You can just click on something in Canvas and it takes you directly there. Generally speaking, the due dates for the homework are indicated in the coral color on the course calendar, and it will typically be on Fridays at 11:55 p.m. I'm experimenting with a Friday due date this session to see if I can get more interaction with my students on the homework. I had been having it due on Sunday, and I was discovering that students weren't asking me questions about the homework very much at all. And so maybe if we have it due on a Friday, you'll be more likely to see me in office hours or do something to get help on the homework. There is one really important thing for Chem 1342 for this spring. As far as the Sapling Learning accounts go, if you have a Sapling Learning account already in existence, you used it in Gen Chem 1, I need for you to open a different tab in your browser and log in to your existing Sapling Learning account before you log into it through Canvas. If you are already logged into your Sapling Learning account, it will automatically link the two. I know in the past semesters we've had a lot of trouble with confirmation emails getting munched by our email system. I sure hope that's been fixed for this semester. I have been assured by ITAC that those confirmation emails will be allowed to pass through. We will see. But here's the deal. This is Gen Chem 2. Some of you all, when you took Gen Chem 1, may have purchased 2-semester access. So you already have credit with Sapling Learning that you want to use for this semester. So it's going to be really important for the ease of this process for you to already have Sapling Learning open in another browser tab the first time you log into Sapling Learning through Canvas. That will automatically link your identity through Canvas with your existing Sapling Learning account, and the credits will immediately transfer over. If you know you have another semester credit and it's not appearing as you go through Canvas, you'll need to talk to customer support. You can initiate that process online, or you can call their phone number. The tricky part about this is most of the time, the technical support that we get with Sapling Learning, the customer support, is really good, but not at the beginning of the semester. Typically at the beginning of the semester, every publisher's helplines are overwhelmed with customers. And so if you need to do this, it may be a long and drawn out process, but hopefully we can circumvent that by simply linking your accounts by logging into your Sapling account before you try to get in through Canvas. And homework is an example of formative assessment. Good. I'm glad to see I did have a whole slide on learning curves. Learning curves will count for extra credit. You can get a ½ point on your course average for each learning curve that you do, up to a maximum of 3 points, which would correspond to 6 learning curve assignments. The learning curve assignments are something that's called adaptive learning. and it's a little bit different approach. It is actually designed to help you learn as opposed to being homework assignments where you already know stuff and you're trying to demonstrate that knowledge. You access these through Canvas. The due dates will match up with the coral color on our course calendar. And let's see. Yeah, once again, I just have the warning about linking an existing sapling account with your new account through Canvas or your continuing account through Canvas. We want to make sure that those two identities are linked. We have lots of participation problem sets sprinkled throughout our Canvas modules. They account for 5% of your course grade, and at the end of the semester, I will curve by the equivalent of a week's worth of data from the participation problem sets. These participation problem sets will immediately follow a cluster of lectures in a chapter module. So there will be a page in our module that has you watch 2 to 4 videos, and then immediately following that page will be a participation problem set. So those questions will be directly linked to the videos that you just watched. You will have several of these per module, and you'll take them through Canvas like the quizzes. They'll be unproctored, and you will get 3 attempts. The highest score will be kept. After your first attempt, I strongly recommend that you review the material that you missed before taking it again. If you take it a second time and you're still missing stuff, get extra help before you try it the third time. Talk to me in office hours, talk to me in our problem-solving synchronous class meetings, talk to Slack, talk with Nick, our SI leader. So do your best to remediate before you take it that third time. And these participation problem sets are formative assessment as well. Supplemental instruction, or SI, is a key component of your grade. It's 5% of your grade, so this is equivalent in weight to the participation problem sets. This is a form of peer tutoring, and Nick is our SI leader for this semester. Your commitment is to participate once a week for at least 10 times by Friday, April 10th, 2021. At most, you can count 2 sessions in any 1 week towards your grade. If you're attending more than that, that's wonderful. That'll certainly help you, but it won't count towards that total of 10 that's part of the course requirement. So Nick will be talking to y'all more about when the SI sessions are available and how to sign up and the Zoom links and all of that sort of stuff. Our objective for this video segment was to go over how you will be graded in this course. Hopefully all of the components of that are a little bit more clear at this point.